Maya felt the line behind her slow, the usual morning noise sinking into a thin hush. She handed Linda her first-class ticket, calm, steady, almost invisible in the crowded terminal. Linda barely looked at it before letting out a small laugh, the kind that wasn't loud, but sharp enough to cut through the air. "First class? You sure this is yours?" Linda asked, her voice soft but edged. Maya blinked once. "Yes, it's mine." Linda tilted her head like she was inspecting something strange. "Must be nice." A few passengers shifted. One man stopped scrolling his phone. Another woman looked between them, sensing something she couldn't fully name, but understood anyway. Maya kept her hands folded. Her voice stayed even. "Is there a problem?" "No problem," Linda said, though her smile said otherwise. "Just making sure." There was a pause, the kind that presses on the chest. Maya felt heat rise behind her ribs, but she didn't move. She didn't argue. She didn't lower her gaze. Narration slipped quietly between them. Maya had been here before. Not this airport, not this woman, but this feeling. The one where someone tried to shrink her without raising their voice. Linda scanned the ticket slowly, too slowly. "You know," she added, "we've had issues. People booking seats they can't really stop." Maya's tone wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. "Just check me in." The man behind her cleared his throat, not impatient, supportive. Linda's fingers hesitated. The shift was small but real. Her smile cracked just a bit. She printed the boarding pass without another word. When she slid it across the counter, Maya didn't snatch it. She took it gently, almost gracefully. "Thank you," Maya said. Linda didn't answer, and the silence that followed said everything. Maya felt the shift before she even understood it, the way Linda leaned forward, slow and lazy, like she had all the time in the world. The way her fingers made a small, dismissive wave toward Maya's ticket, as if touching it was some kind of favor. "Put it up here," Linda said, tapping the counter with 2 fingers. Maya placed the ticket down. "It's already scanned," Linda smirked. "Not the way I need it." A couple of passengers behind Maya nodded along, not openly, just enough to say they agreed with Linda without having to say a word. Maya saw it, that silent approval that always made moments like this harder. Narration settled like weight in her chest. Maya knew these gestures, the lean, the smirk, the tiny flick of a hand. Alone, they meant nothing. Together, they built a wall she had walked into her whole life. Linda picked up the ticket like it was dirty. "You know this line is for priority boarding, right?" "I know," Maya said softly. "Uh-huh." Linda's smile widened. "Just checking." "You've already checked twice." The words slipped out without force, but they made Linda pause. A crack, tiny, but there. Linda leaned back now, searching for something to push with. "People get confused. Happens all the time." "Not to everyone," Maya replied. Someone behind her whispered, "Damn," but no one stepped forward. The printer clicked. It printed Maya's pass perfectly, like it had never been a question. Linda set it down with the same dismissive flick. "There. Happy now?" Maya didn't take it right away. She let the silence sit there, heavy, honest. "I was already fine," she said. "You weren't." Linda blinked, once too slow. Maya picked up the pass and walked away, leaving Linda with nothing to lean on. Maya felt the small vibration in her fingers when she saw it, the printer spitting out a second ticket she never asked for. A standby slip, quiet, deliberate, like she didn't deserve the seat she'd already paid for. Linda didn't even look at her when she picked it up. "This will work better for you." "I didn't request that," Maya said. Linda shrugged. "It's standard procedure when seats don't match passenger profiles." Maya blinked slowly. "Passenger profiles?" A businessman in line muttered, "Here we go." but didn't look away. Another woman pretended not to stare, though her eyes kept sliding back to Maya like watching a slow accident. Narration pressed against Maya's chest. This wasn't confusion. This wasn't a mistake. This was the moment they expected her to shrink. "I already have a seat assignment," Maya said, voice steady. Linda held the standby ticket between two fingers, waving it like a warning. "This is what's available now." "No," Maya whispered. "It's what you decided." The printer hummed again, loud in the quiet. People shifted their weight, uncomfortable but curious. The shame Linda tried to force toward Maya didn't land the way she wanted. It clung to the space around them instead, brushing against everyone watching. A man in the back cleared his throat. "Why'd you print a standby for her if she already—" Linda cut him off. "Sir, stay out of it." Maya exhaled slowly, grounding herself. "Give me my original ticket." For the first time, Linda's confidence cracked. She looked at the standby slip, then at Maya, a long, uncertain second. "You're making this difficult," Linda said, softer. "No," Maya answered. "You are?" Linda hesitated, then slid the original ticket across the counter. No smirk this time. Maya took it gently, her fingers steady now, and Linda had nothing left to hide behind. Maya's thumb hovered over her screen before she finally pressed the call. She didn't look at Linda. She didn't look at the crowd. She just whispered, "Dad, I need you here," and tried to keep her voice from shaking. On the other end, her father paused. "What happened?" They won't let me board," she said softly. The words came out tight, like she was holding them in with both hands. Linda folded her arms. "You didn't have to call anyone. This is simple." "It wasn't simple for you," Maya replied, still holding the phone to her ear. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Silence did the rest. Her father spoke again. "I'm coming inside. Don't move." A woman behind Maya shifted, pretending to scroll her phone, but listening to every word. A man in a suit whispered to someone, "This is about to get messy." But even he sounded unsure, like part of him already realized the balance was changing. Linda's face tightened. "You're going to make a scene." "No," Maya said. "You already did." Narration pressed through the space. She wasn't fighting. She wasn't yelling. She was just refusing to disappear. The terminal fell into a heavy quiet, the kind that makes people straighten their backs and pretend they aren't watching. Even Linda's breath slowed, as if she sensed something shifting beyond her control. Then the automatic doors slid open. A soft mechanical sound, but somehow louder than anything else. Heads turned before Maya did. A few passengers stepped aside without being told. Narration tightened around the moment. The air changed first, then the eyes, then the fear, but not hers. Maya lowered her phone, steady now. Her father was walking in, and nothing in the room felt the same anymore. The moment he stepped inside, conversations thinned out like someone had turned the volume down. Maya didn't move toward him, but her eyes softened just enough for him to notice. Dr. Jordan walked with quiet control, hands steady at his sides, the airport director trailing behind him with a nervous stiffness that everyone could read. "Maya," he said gently, stopping right in front of her. "You okay?" She nodded once. "She changed my ticket." Linda straightened her shirt. "Sir, your daughter misunderstood the—" "No," Maya cut in, her voice low. "She didn't even look at my name. She laughed." The director shifted, swallowing hard. "Dr. Jordan, we're going to sort this out." Dr. Jordan didn't raise his tone. "I assume you already know what happened." The director hesitated. His silence said more than an answer. Narration slipped through the tension. It wasn't the doctor's words that changed the air. It was how steady he stood, how he didn't need to argue to be heard. Linda forced a thin smile. I followed procedure. She didn't appear to be a first-class passenger, Dr. Jordan asked, calm enough to make the question sharper. Linda blinked, realizing too late how exposed she sounded. The director's eyes dropped to the ground, like he was trying to distance himself from her with quiet steps no one was supposed to see. Maya whispered, "Dad, I just wanted to board." "And you will," he said, "but not by shrinking yourself." Linda's breath stumbled before her next sentence. "Sir, I didn't intend—" "You intended exactly what you did," he replied, still soft, still measured. Narration filled the moment. Power didn't shift because he shouted. It shifted because he didn't need to. A few passengers stepped back, suddenly unsure whose side they had been on seconds ago. Dr. Jordan finally looked at the director. "Shall we fix this now?" The director nodded quickly, almost grateful for the direction. Linda said nothing, and for the first time since the morning began, she wasn't the one controlling the room. Maya's father glanced at her, eyes narrowing. "Has this happened before?" She shook her head, though a memory of whispered warnings flickered behind her eyelids. A junior flight attendant had said once, quietly, "Watch her. She picks passengers who won't fight back." Linda straightened behind the counter, smiling, unaware the past was catching up. Dr. Jordan's voice stayed calm. "Complaints, records, HR filings. Do they exist?" The airport director hesitated. "Some were handled internally. Settlements, closed cases." "Closed," Dr. Jordan repeated. "Or buried." Narration edged through the tension. Ignored reports, whispered warnings, quiet retreats. These weren't isolated incidents. They were the scaffolding of authority Linda had built long before today, invisible to anyone who didn't pay attention. A mother in line whispered to her child, "I remember seeing this before." Linda's smirk faltered. "These are old issues. Irrelevant now?" Irrelevant? The word hung in the air, heavier than anything else in the terminal. Dr. Jordan's gaze didn't waver. "History doesn't disappear because you ignore it." The director shifted uneasily. We weren't aware, fully aware. You knew enough to let it happen," he said, low, steady. Passengers glanced up, phones half hidden but recording, the room's collective attention tilting subtly. Linda's hands trembled just slightly, hiding behind the counter. The calm she relied on had cracks now, tiny but visible to anyone watching. Maya's voice finally broke the pause. "I'm just asking to be treated like everyone else." The weight of decades of silence settled over Linda, and for the first time, she could feel it. The terminal held its breath, and in that stillness, the past and present collided quietly, leaving only truth behind. A junior agent leaned close to the director. "Sir, she's done this before." The director's brow furrowed. "Before?" "Yes, several times. Complaints, minor incidents, never escalated." A mother in line murmured, barely audible, "My son stopped flying this route because of her." Linda stiffened, trying to mask the tremor in her hands. "That's not true." A reporter, phone hidden under her jacket, whispered, "History repeating itself." Dr. Jordan's voice cut through, calm and even. "Seems the pattern isn't hard to trace." The director swallowed, eyes flicking between faces. I didn't realize." Narration slid quietly into the tension, each small voice a ripple through the polished terminal. No one shouted, no one accused aloud, yet the weight pressed down, folding Linda's authority in a way she had never felt before. Linda's smile faltered. "I followed procedure." Dr. Jordan's gaze held hers. "Some procedures shouldn't be followed blindly." Passengers shifted slightly, phones lifted discreetly. Their quiet withdrawal amplified the judgment louder than any confrontation could. The junior agent swallowed, voice low. "It's not just today. People are talking." Linda's breath caught. The terminal's silence, heavy, observing, was louder than any laugh she had ever used to control a room. Maya's hand found her father's. "I just want to fly." "And you will," he said, steady, letting the quiet make her point unmistakable. Linda's eyes darted, unsure where to look, as the whispers and silences stretched, folding the moment into truth. Dr. Jordan placed a steady hand on Maya's shoulder. "Breathe. It's okay." Linda's fingers trembled over the counter. I was just following policy." "You were wrong," he said softly, voice calm but firm. "She has a paid ticket. That's the truth." Passengers shifted quietly. Phones rose. Whispers traced the edges of her authority. Her voice faltered. "But Dr. Jordan didn't answer. He simply met her eyes, letting the silence expose every excuse she'd ever relied on. Narration. A lifetime of unchallenged control unraveled in real time. The terminal no longer protected her. The structure built on privilege cracked, leaving her exposed to the truth she could no longer escape. Linda swallowed hard. The room felt heavier, each observer a silent witness to her collapse. Maya exhaled slowly, standing taller. "I just want to fly." Dr. Jordan nodded, unwavering. "And you will." The terminal held its breath. "Linda, did you laugh at this passenger?" the director asked, calm but piercing, her lips parted, then closed. It wasn't." Dr. Jordan stepped closer, voice steady. "She handed you a valid first-class ticket. That's all you needed to see." The terminal went still. Phones hovered, eyes widened. Every excuse collapsed behind her own disbelief. Linda swallowed, staring at the floor. The spotlight of truth held her in place, unyielding. Narration. A single question, simple yet precise, laid bare decades of unseen bias. The room's silence became louder than any argument she could summon. "Linda, please step away from the counter," Callahan said, voice steady. She froze. I don't." Dr. Jordan held up the receipts. "All of this shows the ticket was valid, nothing more." Her breath hitched, fingers trembled. Silence in the terminal pressed in, and her long-protected power crumbled. Narration. A reputation built on fear and control disintegrated quietly, witnessed by eyes that had once obeyed without question. She scrolled silently, coffee untouched. They're still writing about me?" Her daughter's message remained unread. A neighbor's glance brushed past the window. The dim living room pressed in. Maybe I should call someone," she whispered, but even her voice sounded small, swallowed by the weight of exposure. Narration. Her silence had become louder than her career ever was, a quiet reckoning witnessed by absence and shadows. Maya slid the boarding pass into her book. Her father's hand rested lightly on her shoulder. "Another step?" he asked softly. She nodded. By the gate, a plaque read, "Bias-free boarding commitment." "Why stay so calm?" a reporter asked. Dr. Jordan's voice was quiet. "Truth speaks itself." Narration. A legacy reclaimed quietly, yet with undeniable strength, reverberating in every small shift around them.